Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we're going to do Director Spotlight number 8, David Fincher. Without further ado, let's dive in and take a look at 8 films and 1 season of a TV show that I have from legendary producer, director, David Fincher. Without further ado, let's dive in. We're going to start with, this stars Mark Ruffalo, Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Zodiac, movie based on the Zodiac Killer. To me, this is probably there's a couple movies based on the Zodiac Killer. I think this is the best one. It is a fantastic film, a great watch. The acting in here was superb. This came out in 2007 and scores very high, 7.7 IMDb. Fantastic movie, Zodiac. You need to check this one out. If you don't own this one, you need to put this one in your collection. It's a banger. Next up, from 2002 with a decent 6.8 IMDb, we have Jodie Foster in Panic Room. Panic Room is a really good movie. I featured this on Underrated Films. You need to check this one out. You got Jodie Foster, Forest Whitaker, Jared Leto. Fantastic movie about a girl, about a woman a recent divorcee who just moved into a really nice apartment in, I think it was Manhattan or something like that. A really nice, luxurious apartment or house. It might have been a house. And it was a panic room in there. And there was some bearer bonds hidden in the panic room. And it was just a train wreck, but it was a very good thriller. Very underrated piece of work. I remember when this movie first came out, I enjoyed it. I watched it about 3 or 4 times when I got it on home release. And I just watched this recently, not too long ago. It is a great watch and a fantastic movie. Next up, we got probably the lowest, but this is the lowest scoring movie that I have from David Fincher. And I can see why it wasn't all that great. So part of the Alien quadrilogy, we're talking about Alien 3. Alien 3 came out in 1992. It scores a mid-pack 6.4 IMDb. Me personally, I would have gave it less than that. I didn't like Alien 3. I think a lot of people didn't like Alien 3. But, yeah, this is a David Fincher movie. Next up, a very good David Fincher movie, 2008. You got Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Scores a very high 7.8 IMDb. Fantastic movie. Basically, the doom clock is going backwards. I do believe that's the doom clock. It could be. And it's going backwards. So Benjamin Button here, it starts off with him as an old man. Now time is going backwards. I love the idea of this movie, the concept of somebody aging in reverse. I've never seen that. And I've seen movies where people aged swiftly, but never were they aged in reverse like this to the point where they was just nothing. A fantastic movie with a great cast. It's a good movie, a little bit long, so if you're going to watch this one, you need to commit a little bit of time. But The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is just a well-done movie, well-acted, well-scripted. Everything about this movie is fantastic. Next up is from 2013 with a high 8.7 IMDb, very high. And this is the first season of a TV show. David Fincher did the first season of House of Cards. House of Cards is a banging show. You got Kevin Spacey, Robin Wright, Kate Mara, and Corey Stoll. A banging show. This ran on Netflix. I got them all over here. I think it ran for 6 seasons. A fantastic TV show. I mean, Kevin Spacey was hitting it out of the park with this. But then he couldn't finish the show because he got into a little trouble in Hollywood. But yeah, House of Cards, a banger. If you don't have House of Cards in your collection, you need to go ahead and try to get all 6 seasons of House of Cards. Fantastic show. Next up, one of my favorite movies in my collection and my second best thriller in my entire collection. We got 1997's Michael Douglas and Sean Penn in The Game. This is a fantastic thriller. And far as thrillers of all time, this would probably make top 25 thrillers of all time. It's my second best in my collection. I'm talking about all time. If somebody was to do an all-time thriller list, Tim, that would be a hell of an idea for one of your community challenges. Like top 25 thrillers of all time. I would love to see how that one would shake out. This will probably definitely make everybody's top 25. But again, this came out in 1997 and it scored a decent 7.7 IMDb. The Game is basically 2 brothers. One is like carefree, free-spirited. The other one is like stuffy, more business-oriented. He's the one that actually inherited the family business, so he's charged with the daily responsibility of running the company. The other brother just kind of does what he wants. But the other brother, who's a little bit more carefree, the Sean Penn character, he treated his brother to this very elaborate game. I mean, It's so elaborate, you don't know it's a game until the end of the movie. It is so freaking good. You got to check this one out, The Game. If you want to watch a movie that'll keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time you watch it, then you want this one. Next up is 2014's. This scores a very high 8.1 IMDb. And you got Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. I think I'm just butchering that name up. We got Gone Girl, baby. This was a fantastic movie, a great watch. This was an absolute banger. I enjoyed Gone Girl. Next up, we got 2014's. I'm sorry. We got 1999's Brad Pitt and Edward Norton in the highly rated 8.8 IMDb. This is the highest rated of any Fincher movie I got. Fight Club. Fight Club, what goes on in Fight Club stays in Fight Club. Fight Club is these two guys. They start an underground fighting ring, but this got a very strong mental illness component to it. I'm not going to give you the end just in case you haven't seen it, but I'm quite sure you've seen this movie. Fight Club, one of Fincher's best. I think according to IMDb, this is Fincher's best film. I don't agree with that. I think it's definitely top, I don't know, out of all his work, but out of the ones I got, this is definitely in the top 5, maybe third. And number 1, not according to IMDb though, but according to IMDb, this is number 2 or number 3. This is number 3 according to them out of what I have. 7, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. It's about a serial killer who uses the 7 sins as his guiding light. He kills based off of the 7 deadly sins. So it is a banging movie. This is the best thriller that I own in my entire collection. It is my favorite movie in my entire collection. I got a lot of good movies, guys. And for me to consider this, after all these years, my number 1 movie, is something to it. Now, some people don't understand why I love this movie so much. It's a fantastic film. To me, this is like this. There's a few movies in my collection I consider to be my, perfect movies. This is a perfect movie in my opinion. There's really nothing wrong with this movie. Everything, the acting is correct. The filming, the way it's shot, the mood, the way they shot it, and, it's always raining and dark and very abysmal looking outside. It just sets the mood for the entire movie. Then when you go into his apartment, and that also is real dark and dreary. This movie is a perfect movie, and 2000's Russell Crowe's Gladiator, that is a perfect movie. I can actually sit down and probably do a list of movies that I consider in my collection to be perfect movies. There's not a lot, but there's quite a few, and this to me is the perfect movie. It's the perfect thriller. This is 1995's 7, scoring a very hefty 8.6 IMDb. So, guys, that's what I have from David Fincher. Real quick, we got 7. We got Fight Club. We got Gone Girl. We got The Game. We got the first season of House of Cards. We got The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. We got Alien 3. We got Panic Room. And we have Zodiac. Well, guys, thanks for watching Director Spotlight number 8, David Fincher. I don't have my paper here to tell you. Wait a minute. I think I do got it. So next, we're going to do John Singleton. Yeah, and then after that, we'll do... You got to wait to see next time.